There are many reasons people say no to God and do not respond to the Spirit when the Spirit calling men and women to worldwide missions. Another excuse goes like this. They say, but there are so many at home that are not yet saved. You know, it is true that there are many people in our country, whether you live in Singapore, whether you live in the Philippines, or whether you live in the United States, many people that are not saved. But friends, do you realize the needs around the world are greater usually than in your country if you live in the United States, Singapore, or the Philippines? You know, I'm told that there are about 300 million Americans. Only 20 million of those be classified as evangelical believers. And that means there are some 272 million Americans that still need to be reached with the gospel of Jesus Christ. There are 170 million Americans that are unchurched, and 30 million of those are hardcore pagans that are anti-Christian. And although the needs in, say, the United States are great, do you realize the needs around the world are even greater? You see, in the United States, there's one full-time evangelical worker for every 200 people. But in India, there's one full-time worker for every 200,000 people. In Algeria, Northern Africa, there is one full-time worker for every 2 million people. In Asia, there's one full-time worker for every 5.4 million people. In fact, in the world, 1 out of 2 people cannot hear the gospel simply because there is nobody there to tell them. And friends, we cannot neglect the call to worldwide missions because the needs of our home country are great. To say we must first reach America, or we must first reach Singapore, or we must first reach the Philippines before we can move out to the mission field is to condemn 3/4 of the world to an eternal hell. And friends, it is to flatly disobey God's great commission to go and make disciples of all nations. Friends, do not let the needs at home hinder you from answering God's call to worldwide missions. You see, if God has called you to missions, then friends, respond to that call. God can be trusted. You see, we can trust God with our family, with our children, with our age, with our money. We can trust our unknown future into the hands of a known God. And may the Spirit of God take the Word of God and encourage you with it today.